amazing.
Conceive, believe, achieve.
But all I wrote after the fight was, well, that sucked. And
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I needed to elaborate any more on that. I think it was pretty obvious. And it got like 170,000
Yes.
likes or something absurd. So I think people are enjoying my pain, which, whatever. And then, I don't want to say it, but Heather Hardy, she's a fighter on here. She said MMA is hard. Stop being told when people lose. It takes a lot of balls to step in the cage. And while that is true, I feel like I probably deserve it. I've been antagonizing people for about a decade now, and it never came up on the end of the stick.
And there he is, the one and only Ben Askren. Ben, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Usually it's on more joyous terms that I'm joining you, Ariel. Well, I got nothing to hide from. Obviously, mistakes happen, losses happen. Saturday night was definitely not ideal for myself, but I got nothing to complain about.
Okay, how do you feel, first and foremost?
You know what? I think Saturday night was least traumatizing for me. There's a little part of my memory that's blank there, but man, I remember being in the cage with him. I don't really remember the flying knee. And then when I can recall, I remember everything. I was like, oh, I lost to Jorge Masvidal. This freaking sucks. And everyone else was more worried about me than I was worried about myself. And I didn't really have any pain of any sort, not a headache. Nothing on my face hurts, and so it was just like, oh, Jesus, I lost to Jorge Masvidal. How did I lose to him? How fast was it? I could tell it was pretty fast because I wasn't like sweaty or sore or anything, so I knew it was fast. I didn't know exactly how fast it was, and apparently I guess I set a record of some sort.
When do you recall regaining your memory? Like, were you in the back? Were you still in the cage?
No, I was at the hospital.
Oh, really? Wow. You don't remember anything in the cage?
I don't. So I was obviously awake, but no, it's not. I'm not piecing all of that together.
Wow. And
unfortunate.
Who told you about what happened?
My wife. That obviously saw.
How long were you at the hospital for?
Oh, it couldn't have been long. Oh, I can't tell you exactly what time I went into the cage at. But I could tell you that John Jones was still fighting when I was figuring stuff out. John Jones was still fighting, and then I think I was out of the hospital before 10 p.m. So whatever the math on that is.
Do they make you do tests there? Like, what do they do to detect?
Yeah.
What did you do?
I don't. I'm not a doctor. I believe a CT scan and something else.
Did you suffer a concussion?
Well, they said their test didn't show anything. Obviously, the fact that I went unconscious, I believe that's defined as a concussion.
Did you ever envision the fight starting like that? Did that scenario ever cross your mind?
You know what? I was ready for knees, and I did say to Duke multiple times in the back room, I think he's going to try something crazy right away. If you remember the Till fight, obviously he ran across the ring, kicked Till in the balls in the first 4 seconds. And I just had an inkling that he's going to try something right away. And I've kind of always thought, like, who the hell gets flying knee? Like, can't you see that coming? It's coming from so far away. But when I watched the film, I mean, I don't like George at all, but that was a damn good flying knee. And he hit it fast and explosively. He got some serious airtime on it, and then obviously connected in the right spot.
As far as your technique is concerned, do you feel like you did anything wrong? I mean, obviously, if you could have done it differently, you would do it differently. But do you regret the technique?
It's hard saying it's wrong. That would be total confirmation bias if I were to say that, and obviously a lot of people would. But the fact that is, I've been in the cage 19 times, and that type of technique has worked 19 other times, and has never failed me. And so now, to the one time it fails me, to turn around and say, yeah, that's bad technique, that's not the way I should have done it, it was predictable. To say those things, obviously they would be correct, but it's also confirmation bias. And a lot of people fall for their own confirmation bias. And so I'm not going to fall for my own confirmation bias. That the way I had done things had worked every single other time. I obviously had never had a defeat previous to this. And so I got, I got hit. I got hit hard. It's fine. It happens. It's a mistake. And I think that's all there is to it.
How many times have you watched it?
I think once or twice.
Really? And where did you see it? Online? On your phone?
Yeah.
And
there's my Twitter's been blowing up. Now I'm not reading everything they're antagonizing me with. Obviously I'm scrolling through it. I don't want to dwell on that. But fair enough. I always figured when this point happened that I would get I get lit up, and I'm not paying attention to it, but I'm sure I am. I'm getting lit up.
As far as the lighting up is concerned, is it worse than you expected?
I'm not looking at it.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you. I told you to tell me.
All right. Well, how about this? How about Dylan Dennis and Darren Till, two guys who you've had back and forth with, both saying nice things and telling you to keep your chin up? And did you see that? Yeah.
I did not. I told you. Listen. I mean, one of the things you can't do when stuff like this happens for me on social media is dwell on all the stuff people are saying. I just try to scroll through it. Obviously, people who are close to me have texted me and checked in on me. But yeah, I mean that's nice. Not that I expected it or anything. I figured they would have tore me up, which would have been definitely fair on their part, and I would not have been upset at them for doing so.
Dylan Dennis wrote, "Respect to Ben Askren, talked a big game and put it on the line. A true warrior. He will be back with a bang." Darren Till wrote, "Unlucky Ben. SHIT happens. You'll be back." So how about that?
Wow. Well, yeah, that's very nice of those guys. Although, like I said, I wouldn't have been mad if they would have went a little harder in the paint on me. I think that would have been fair. I probably would have deserved it. Yeah, but I mean, honestly, on the one side of me says, like, how did I get knocked out in 5 seconds? I honestly, man, I've been in this game for 10 years. I haven't really got hit hard barely at all. I've never really been rocked. I've never been dropped. So I was almost getting to the point where I don't want to say I was careless, but I kind of thought I was almost invincible or just had a tough skull, which obviously I was, it was a hell of a hit, but it was probably proved wrong on Saturday night. So yeah, unfortunately, a rude awakening, and not the way I would have liked it to go down. But at the same time, I'm not. I don't want to say. I hate the term. I hate when I see a few people saying George got lucky. That's not lucky, man. It's I mean, is it going to happen 100 out of 100 times? Definitely not. But landing a knee like that takes a lot of skill. I couldn't do such a thing, and but at the same time, I don't feel like it was like I didn't get my kick for 15 minutes and get stuffed on 13 takedowns and just beat up. And people say, "Oh, he sucks." It's like, man, I got caught with the flying knee. I got knocked out. There's not much I can do about it.
Do you want to keep fighting?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I haven't even thought of my path forward, Ariel. I had such a nice path set up, and I did it for myself. And Jorge Masvidal was my pick. I went to London. I said I'm going to fight the winner of Till Masvidal. I got it. That was who I wanted to fight, and that was my path to a title. And I had created all this hype and all this momentum. And I was right where I wanted to be. I mean, I was right on the precipice of having that title shot against Usman if I go and win the fight on Saturday night. And now it's like I said, I enjoyed hanging out with my friends yesterday. I flew home this morning. I haven't really thought about, hey, where am I? Where am I now? What's my path forward? Who am I going to fight next? I hadn't really thought of that because I was all in on the one thing happening. The other thing happened. So I guess I have to take some time to regroup. I'm assuming that I'll be suspended for. I didn't look at what my suspension is, but I'm assuming I'll be suspended for a significant amount of time. With not even any training due to the fact that I'm unconscious. So I will have some time to plot my path forward.
According to Nevada, you're suspended until September 5th. No contact until August 21st. So
okay. Thanks, I appreciate it. How'd you have that knowledge right on hand? You know I was going to say that?
Listen, I'll give credit to Corporate Jake for that one. He said it in my ear. But what about the extra punches as you were clearly out? How do you feel about that?
Honestly, I didn't even watch them.
Okay.
I don't care. It happens. I knew what I signed up for. Do I like Jorge Masvidal? No. If you asked me before the fight if George knocks you out, he's going to take a few extra shots, I would have said, yep. He definitely is. So that's if that's what he wants to do, that's fine.
Does the fact that the record bother you more?
No, I think that's probably a positive. Right? I mean, would you want to be somewhere in mediocrity at like 24 seconds, or you want to have a record at 5?
Might as well just take the record.
You might as well just have the record. Hey, if you calculate like my pay per hour due to a 5-second knockout, it's pretty fantastic.
Okay, so what about the fact that it is a guy that you don't like, right? Like there was clearly some heat there between you guys, some bad blood. Yeah. The fact that he has this victory over you now.
Yeah, it's annoying. What am I going to do about it? Cry? Ask for a rematch? I don't deserve a rematch. I got knocked out in 5 seconds. What do you want me to do? Okay, Ariel, sometimes life doesn't go your way. Sometimes you get your kick. Sometimes you lose. You don't have to like it, but you got to accept it.
Did you see him afterwards?
I might have. I don't recall it if
Right.
if I did.
Right. I don't know if you saw him in the hotel or something afterwards. After party.
I did not. I would.
Okay. And did you see any of his post-fight comments?
No, wouldn't bother watching those. That would probably annoy me. So
Okay.
I figured I should bother.
Well, seeing your
I'm sure they weren't all that complimentary. I'm sure he had a lot of bad things to say about me, and that's fine. But I antagonized out of him. That was on purpose. I was trying to first get him to accept the fight, second then make him mad, and so obviously, like those extra punches, it's fine. It's probably what should be expected in a scenario like that.
He said something to the effect that wasn't the 3-piece in the soda. That was the whole MGM Grand Buffet that he threw at you.
Well, I guess that was what he needed to throw at me, and he was successful in doing so. So good job, George.
What is it like for someone who's been so dominant to see yourself in that spot, like to see yourself get knocked out? What is that experience like?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it in those terms at all. I mean, obviously we go through life. Now I got to be on a damn highlight effing clip. But I'm sure that highlight will be played many times into the future, which is not ideal for me. But again, it happened. There's nothing I can do to change it, and so me being upset about it is not really going to do me any good whatsoever. If I get a couple wins, I'm probably not too far away from achieving an ultimate goal.
What do you make?
Yeah,
of that?
I mean, I had a good idea that he was, like I said, he was going to try a knee. I had a good idea that was coming. He executed well. That's what it comes down to. I mean, he had a game plan. He executed really well. He got the knockout. I had a game plan. I obviously didn't execute. I didn't even get the opportunity to execute, but I didn't execute very well on the one thing that I tried to do.
What was your game plan?
Close distance, take him down.
Okay.
I wasn't really secretive in that. I mean, you knew that.
Right.
I mean, hey, obviously, there's a few people who are undefeated in mixed martial arts. I would say Khabib and John Jones. Besides that, everyone's experienced a defeat of some sort. And even if you would say John Jones and Khabib, I'm sure they've experienced some loss or some failure at some point in their life. We all experience loss and failure. It's part of what makes us what we are. It's part of the struggle. It's part of what makes us strong. And so, wishing to go through life without struggle or failure that's wishing for a shitty life. You don't really want that. I want struggle and I want failure. I want my kids to have struggle and I want my kids to have failure. I want the kids I coach to have struggle and failure. That's what makes us who we are. So it's fine and I accept it.
Do you now have a newfound respect for Jorge Masvidal?
No, I got the douche. No, I don't like him. I mean, listen, he's a good fighter. I said he was a good fighter before I fought him. There's no doubt about that. But the whole attitude, kind of what I said earlier about how he said he wanted to knock me out more because I talked trash was ridiculous. He was going to try to knock me out,
right?
No matter what scenario was. I mean, I saw one video. It was only one video. I saw one video of myself getting knocked out on. I think it was Twitter. It had 7 million views. Oh my God. Brutal. But,
you sound okay. Did you feel okay right now?
Oh, I'm great. Yeah, I feel fine. Like I said, when it clicked at the hospital, I lost the freaking Jorge Masvidal. When everything clicked, it was like my head didn't hurt, my face didn't hurt, nothing hurt. I felt perfectly fine. There was no headache, there was no stomach ache, there was no nothing. I mean, literally nothing. It was just like, oh, this sucks. I kept groaning the whole night, like, I lost to that guy. Oh, terrible. I mean, Arrow, if you really think about it, I was on, and you could, like I said, I could sit and cry about this, but it's not really worth my time because it's not going to do anything. I was just about to get a damn title shot. I was just about to fulfill a lot of dreams that I've had for a long time, and I failed to do that. And that's it's kind of a tough pill to swallow, but it's something I do. I can't change the past. I got knocked out, and I accept that.
You're going to take it easy now the rest of the summer?
Yeah, like you said, I was going to look up my suspension at some point later today. You said I was suspended with no contact till
August 21st. August 21st.
That's probably pretty smart.
I got to say, I don't know how anyone can hate Ben Askren. The way you're handling this is very commendable, my friend. Really, it is.
Well, sometimes I try to be as hateable as possible.
Yes.
And that that suited me pretty well.
It has done you well, and that's why I think this moment is such a big deal. If you weren't that way, no one would care. So it's a testament to you, even though it's coming off a loss. But you're handling it with such class, for the most part. You know, I know you and Jorge will never see eye to eye, but it's really
You don't have to like. Or we don't have to.
sure.
Do you have to like every single person on the planet?
No,
I
no.
think the answer. No, there's some people you don't like the way they do things. That's fine. There's probably a lot of people who they don't like the way I do things, and that's fine. I'm really not going to hold it against them. I'm not going to think they're a dick because they think that of me. That's just what they think of me, and that's fine.
It's just really impressive, because a lot of times when people lose like that, you know, they go away for a long time. Here you are on the Monday after and answering all the questions. So I really
Sure.
appreciate it, Ben. Thank you for
got
doing
it. Yeah,
this.
no problem. Like I said, I just want to repeat this. I think this is so important. This is something I think a lot of parents struggle with in youth athletics. 'Cause that's kind of what I spend a lot of my time is they try to protect their kids from struggle and failure. And it's like I want my kids to experience that because that's what builds character, and that's that's what I'm experiencing right now. Even though I don't like it, and it's part of what makes you who you are, and it's a really important experience.